I'd like to bring out a very special guest, Miss Jane Orlov, today. Jane, can you hear me? And are you with us?
Yes, yes, I'm here.
Excellent. Well, Jane, you're actually you reside in the lower, what is it, the southwest corner of Washington. Is that correct?
Northwest.
Northwest Washington, up around the Seattle
Mm,
area.
yes.
Excellent. Well,
Hmm.
it's a pleasure to have you out here, Jane. And for those of the folks in our community who are unaware of Jane Orlov, not only can you find kind of a quick bio that I posted on our Facebook page, but you'll find a link to her Facebook page, like her professional page, and you can also find out more about Jane at janeorlov.com, and that's ORLOV, janeorlov.com. But I'm so excited and pleased to bring out Jane today because what you're going to find, folks, is, and she's going to go into this story in more kind of our own personal detail in just a second. But before we get started, the point of this entire week and the point of this community is to hopefully persuade you and to inspire you and encourage you that you can do this too. It doesn't take any special skill sets or superhuman powers. We've all got two eyes, two ears, a mouth, and a brain. And we've all got the same fears and insecurities and labels that we put on ourselves, and they're meaningless. They're absolutely meaningless because Jane has only been in this industry for about 1 year. And through her authentic voice that she quickly adapted and surrounding herself by positive mentors and expert coaches and trainers and taking their advice and just doing it and getting out of her own way, she's been able to achieve phenomenal results in a very short time. And that's why I think when it comes down to taking bold action in this community, she's the perfect guest to have. So, Jane, welcome to our call again. And if you don't mind, just get us started, sweetie, by taking us through like the 1 minute introduction of yourself. Let us get to know you a little bit before we get into the meat and potatoes of today's call.
Okay. My name is Jane Orlov, and I came from Russia. And in Russia, I had an allergy, so I skipped a lot of school. I was sick all the time at home, and I even got a journal from the teacher, and I put some grades in so that I could pass the finish line of the school. And when I came here, I started college, and I never finished college, and then I got married. And I was kind of sitting at home being a housewife, and I never believed in myself. I don't know a lot about history, about physics, geography, so I was always the quiet one whenever we go to parties and we would have conversations with friends. I would always keep quiet to myself. And um, and then I got into reading some mindset books about millionaire mind and positive think and grow rich and all the books about positive thinking. And I was always inspired, but I would always hide it from everybody because I would think that people would think that I'm crazy, but I always liked that. And then when I got but I never found the secret how do people do it, so I would just read and get excited and inspired, but then I would not do anything because I never looked into network marketing as the vehicle. And then about a year ago, I was everybody, my family was always saying, Jane, you have to go get an education and start a career, go do this or this, and I never felt passionate enough about anything to start. So when I was invited to a meeting and by my mother's friend, she said, Jane, you have to take a look at it. It's so awesome. So I came in and then I saw people so excited and they were talking about this incredible incomes, and I thought, oh gosh, people are crazy. I'm gonna go check it out online and do some research. So I started researching about my primary company, and then I said, well, I have to look into the whole industry and see if what they're saying is correct. So I started looking and I saw this huge opportunity of people where people were saying positive things who were getting results, and then there are a huge amount of information negative about the whole industry. So I decided to focus on the positive, and I sought out people who had success, and I started watching their videos, watching their webinars, listening to them secretly. So at night I would hide. After I put my kids to bed, I would secretly watch all the YouTube videos and everything, and I would like, oh my gosh, this they're doing this and that, and I felt like, oh, this is huge, but I never felt the connection so that I could do it. So, and then I joined a Facebook group with some leaders, And then I got a call from one of the leaders, and I was, oh my gosh, how she called me. I was so excited. I was like jumping
And
up
just so
and
everybody
down.
knows, not to cut you off, but it was Diane Hockman, right?
Yes, yes,
Okay,
yes.
great.
So, yeah.
Yeah, because
So
Diane's been on our call before. That's cool. I love Diane.
yes, yes. So when she called, I was like, oh my gosh. Before I would always call in and listen quietly and never take any action. So and then when she called and I said, oh my gosh, she's just a regular person, and she called me. We in our heads we put this celebrity status that those people who are successful, they are some kind of an unreachable people. So most people don't never reach out to successful people, and that's what I've learned because through Diane Hockman I um, found out that she was connected to Todd Falcone, which is another big network marketing guy. And then I asked her. She said I could introduce you to him at the live event. And I said, oh, awesome. But I never went to live events. I thought maybe I could just watch and listen to the information, like I did before. Um, so live events are really important. But I never got a chance to go. And then I just took action and I went on Todd's thread, and then I said, "Well, Diane Hockman knows me. Let's hook up and have a coffee."
Hmm.
and he agreed. And when he agreed, oh my God, I was shaking. I was like so excited. I made a video about that right away. So right in the moment while it happened, and my camera is like shaking, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm gonna go and take the interview. And then when I went, I kind of said, I was shaking with nervousness, but then it came out as it was a windy outside, so it came out okay. I was like, and the whole thing started out because I took action, and then Mark Hoverson did a competition. He said you have to do joint venture with somebody, um, and we partnered with Brandy, and we were so nervous. We never did anything like that, and we were like staying up all night, and we had people attending our webinar, but we were shaking. Before the webinar, we couldn't even start it. It
Now, this
was
was your first webinar, right?
yes, the first
Okay, and this
webinar.
was in response to like an email that Mark Hoverson sent out saying, I want to have a competition, and I think he called it a caffeine product, right?
Yes.
Yeah, where you just
Uh,
want to quickly bang out this product, and he had some parameters of winning this contest. So you actually took him up on his offer. You found this little partner for this joint venture thing, and you're pulling an all-nighter to put this webinar together, and you're shaking in nervousness and fear because this was your first time. And in fact, this is actually when you and I met, wasn't it?
yes, yes,
Yeah.
right. And the other action I took is that I Facebooked you, and then when you called me, you kind of talked me through some process, and I was so graciously appreciative of what you shared with me, and you have so a great communication skills. So when you were talking to me, I taped some of the record. I took the recorder and I taped the conversation, and then I went through and I wrote everything down. What you said, and then I memorized it and I learned it because I can't talk like you. So what I do is I record things, and then I write everything down with a pen, and then I read again and again and again until I can start and say something like that, like you know that people have communication skills. But I'm still far away from it, but I'm trying my best.
Well,
Y-
no, listen, and your best was absolutely good enough because what happened in the contest?
right,
You
what
won,
happened
right?
yes, yes. I won. And the best thing was that Mark didn't judge on the amount of sales. He judged on the amount of action you took, and how you um, I sent him a Facebook, and I said, Mark, here's what we have, here's what I want to do, and here's my story. So he went through um, some stories, and he picked out our um, product as well. But what happened was that when he sent an email out to his huge list, because people are on so many lists, not a lot of people noticed it. So what I did is I did a snapshot of it and I posted on my Facebook and I promoted myself. So a lot of exposure I got is from me taking action, because if he just sent an email out, not a lot of people saw it. So what I did is I grabbed. So you want to, every time you take action and you have some some of a good comment, or somebody says something good about it, about you, you want to grab it, take a snapshot of it and collect it. It's like your resume. And then you promote it in on Facebook or your blog or whatever, so that people see that, other people are, it's like social proof, so it's
Hmm.
not like you are somewhere over there and nobody even, appreciates you.
Right, and
So
not to cut you off, I'm sorry, sweetie, but
yeah, yeah.
I think that it's important to understand that for the people who this might be new, they're like, take a snapshot of an email and post it on Facebook. Doesn't that sound obnoxious or like you're bragging? But the
Okay.
idea is that it's not necessarily bragging as much as it's appreciation. Number one, it's acknowledgement, and it's okay to. And what I like to think, it's okay, and in fact, I think it's a very positive, healthy thing to celebrate the small victories. You would
Yes.
agree? Yeah. So again, not to totally switch subjects here, but so you won Mark's contest, and you because you took the action and did the webinar, just busting through this fear and uncomfortableness. But if we go back further than that, I mean, I love your videos, and I noticed when I was kind of doing my research with you and stuff, and obviously we've been friends, but I wanted to get prepared for the call. Uh,
Hmm.
Everyone I noticed was talking about just do the dance. In fact, you actually made a little collage yesterday in kind of preparation for this call, celebrating your small victories, which I really appreciate that. That was awesome. But before all that, everybody's like, just dance. And then I was like, what are people talking about? And so I go down, I scroll on your Facebook page far enough, and I see the most adorable video of Jane. This girl, folks, if you're listening in, she's got moves, she's got skills, she's hot. It's totally awesome. But and then, but I do know enough about your story and your past to where there was this time you've already mentioned you felt a little bit uneducated or unaware. You had this deep sense of kind of personal insecurity, and maybe an unworthiness. But with that comes just a lot of fear. And so my question is, and what we talk about a lot on this community for breaking through that mold and getting that massive action or that bold action, did you ever have any fear? I mean, like we talked about, on your blog, you said, you went from like the overweight, the self-conscious girl with an accent, all of which gave you a lot of these insecurities. So how did you get started? How did you break through it? I mean, did you have any fear? And if so, how did you break through it?
Oh my gosh, I'm even shaking and scared right now. I every time I do something that is um important, I fear of everything. And what happened was I was overweight. I was 60 pounds overweight twice in my life after every child, and I thought, what's the point? I never saw any passion. But then once you get into routine of uh, exercising and you want to inspire people and people are looking up to you, you have this responsibility where you want to be a better person of yourself. And I put it on my Facebook, always try to be a first rate of yourself than a second rate of somebody else.
Hmm.
And my
Will you
my
say that again? Always be a
okay,
first rate of yourself rather than a second rate of somebody else.
yes.
Love
So
that.
try to better yourself. And um I'm scared of everything, and I'm like the most person who, I mean, I wanted to share that the community that lifts you up like you have here, the support, it's incredible. Because in real life, I mean, people put you down. Even my own spouse is negative, and I had so much negativity, so I just decided in my head that I want to block it out and focus on positive, supportive community. So that's why I um it's I can't stress enough I can't stress enough how important like-minded people are when they support you and they lift you and they celebrate all the little things. Even yesterday before the call, I had self-doubt, and I said, "Oh my gosh, how I'm gonna do this call with so many people?" And I was kind of depressed. So I got on the call with my coach, and she lifted me up. She said, "Jane, you did this and that." And you kind of have to go back and memorize and appreciate everything you've done. I worked so hard, but you kind of, you know, I I kind of go off topic here, but every fear I have, I it, like Ray Higdon says, pain pushes you until the vision pulls you. So I had so much negative things going on in my life, and I fear of so much, and then the anticipation rises so high, and then I just breathe really deep, and then I say, okay, I'm gonna breathe deep, let it go. Nobody's gonna die. I'm just gonna go through it, and whatever happens, happens. So every time I had like an important webinar going on, an important call or coaching, I first fear and then I let it go, and then it's not that scary when you do it the second time. Like,
And what you found is that people really resonate with the authentic voice, and they're there to push you along the way, and that really creates even that vision that pulls you, and that's where that momentum just takes action and just explodes, right?
yes, and people see, because when I saw on what happened was that I want to share a story. What happened is when I looked at some of the big leaders, like in the industry, that they are successful already. I look at their videos and I see that it's perfect. It's perfection. I never thought that I could do it. But when I go back at their YouTube channels and I look back 2 years ago at their first videos when they first started, and I say to myself, "Oh my gosh, she was like this. She was like me. I could do it." So I even like cried when I started. I cried, and I made videos of me crying so that I could share with people when I was successful what I went
Right.
through. It's like, and then you look at the videos and you push yourself. Oh my gosh, do you want to stay that in mediocrity, or you want to do something better with your life? So when making video journals is really important, because when you're excited, when you see something motivational or you get inspired by somebody, I grab a recorder. I grab my cell phone and record a video of me exciting, and I promise to myself things in the video. And then when I feel down, when somebody says something negative, I go back and I watch to that video again, and I see, oh my God, I was inspired. I can do it, and it kind of kicks me in the butt again.
Mhm.
Kicks me into that moment again. So making video journals is important. I just for yourself. And when people are scared of technology, there's so many. Uh, just open a YouTube account. It's free, and just start upload videos, and uh, for public one. But for the private ones, you keep and you watch to motivate yourself. And
Right. Well, okay, so excellent. I mean, so in other words, you still, I think, don't you? Didn't you even do Mark Hoverson's that entire product, and you made the lead capture video? You made that with your cell phone, right?
uh, yeah, all my videos before I was doing with the cell phone, and then
So in other words,
you
it
know
doesn't have to be perfect or even that good. Just do it, and you'll win Mark Hoverson's contest, right? That's
no,
kind of the
like
lesson.
the webinar that we did for Mark Hoverson, the first 10 minutes of me talking recorded with the robotic voice, there was something going on with the software. So the first 10 minutes recorded, it was a horrible sound. And I said I just put a note on the video, oh my God, I'm sorry. It was our first webinar. We were scared. We were nervous. Please ignore it. And then after 10 minutes, it will start normal. And
Right.
even then, with all the technical difficulties, all the nervousness, everything, and it still went through. you know
Right. So real quick though, so you partnered with someone for this part of the JV. All right, great advice. You're taking great advice from real leaders that you want to really get the results from. But here's one of the things, and I've exposed this to you in the past, and I've also yesterday, and kind of introducing you and prepping for this call, revealed this to the everyone listening as well. But you exploit something that I just find incredibly invaluable, and that is just the art of the interview. You always are carrying this cell phone or your just small little flip camera or whatever, and you've interviewed a lot of awesome people, and you're also great at capturing the testimonial. So my question is just for our community is like the tips and kind of the marketing advice before we, because you've also got, by the way, if you go to janeorlov.com, everyone, and again, you'll be able to find this from our Facebook page immediately after this call when we upload it there. Jane's actually put together a very special training on like Facebook etiquette, social media for beginners, and all this video stuff. So stay tuned like after this call and check our Facebook page because Jane's got a really cool little thing put together, and you'll see it's incredibly simple. It's just totally authentic, and it's very real. But before we go into all that in greater detail, Jane, the interviews, the testimonials, give us some of those tips on that video stuff to get our own brand out there, to get us started, to get results, and things that you found that really worked for you, that's been ultra successful in catapulting your notoriety, the results that you've achieved in your business in such a very lightning speed time.
Yes, the interviews are so important because when you, first of all, you have to start with videotaping yourself so that you feel a little bit, you build up a little bit of confidence, and then once you have in your, when you shift in your mind that you can approach leaders and you can send them a Facebook message, and because when people are successful and they started through the same journey as you did, especially in network marketing, all the people started at this. Nobody started having huge success right away. So they all went through the same process. And they are the big names out there. They are willing to give you interviews because it gives them, if they have their products, information products, it gives them more exposure. But what it gives you, the new person, is that you ask them for the interview, you get you get the confidence enough to ask them for it, and if they say yes, you go and you tape the interview. They provide all the value. You are there just sitting. If you're scared to talk, you're just sitting and kind of smiling and taping. And once you have that interview, that's how I did it. I did the interview with Todd Falcone, and he was providing all this valuable information, and I had it as a capture mechanism for my leads on my blog. I still have it.
Right.
And
So they provide all the content and the value, but it gives you the access. It's not only a free coaching session for you and for your audience, but it kind of gives you that authority or that position to have that access.
yes, and once you reached, and even if for my for your own network marketing company, what I did is I reached out to a lot of people who are making money. They are authorities in that world. So I'm just saying, reach out to all the successful people, and once you have one, then it kind of catapults you because somebody else sees it. Oh, she did an interview with, like it happened like with you when we got on the call. I said, you said that, oh, you did an interview with Todd, you must be, his buddy, his friend. But I wasn't at that time. Now we have a closer relationship, but before it was, I just came in and I did an interview. But then it in on Facebook world, it gives you all the other people. They think that, oh my gosh, if she did an interview with him, now they're best buddies, which might not be the case. So you build it up, and every time you celebrate the little successes,
Mm-hmm.
and it gives you more exposure every time. So you kind of you you take your little steps and you build it up. It's not gonna happen like in a month.
You just keep going. You don't have to get it right. You
Right.
just keep it going. All right. So
Yes.
Jane, well, obviously we're getting close to the conclusion of our call here. So just take a minute just to kind of close this out with any type of special juju or whatever. But most importantly, I want everyone to go to JaneOrlov.com. She's got some amazing products. Not only just the video journaling and how she does it, what she does, and these tips and stuff. She's got some excellent content on her blog. You'll be able to see these shining examples of what she does. She's also got the social media for beginners product, right, Jane? And then you've got a special offer for, or not really a special offer. You've just got a lot of cool stuff, and social media is hot, and you just basically pose the question: are you scared to start? So tell us a little bit about your products and what you've done, and where we should go now at the conclusion of the call.
Okay. Um, I did a couple of products, but for this particular call, I did a special. The URL is www.special dot. The dot is really important after the special. Special dot with JaneOrlov.com. So it's S
Yeah, yeah,
P E.
special. Yeah,
Yes,
I'll just repeat it. Special
okay.
dot with Jane Orlov. So it's not Jane Orlov, it's with Jane Orlov. Special dot with Jane Orlov And we'll post a link to this on our Facebook page after the call at facebook.com/networkmarketingvt. And Jane will also, with your permission, we'll post a recording of this call so everybody can download it and consume it and share it. And right, is
Yes.
that cool? Cool.
And
All right. So
yes,
special
and
dot with JaneOrlov.com. Go ahead.
and what I did there is I did a recording of a tutorial free of charge for people where I share this very important Facebook technique, how I drive people and I guide them to what I want them to see. And it's a little trick which very easy to do, but it actually helped me catapult my career. And I'm sharing that. And also I share my you can create killer like posters and ads that I do. It's really easy to do, 10 minutes, and you can do it with 2 free tools, and I'm sharing step by step over there as well for free for people who just go over there and check it out.
Special
And
dot with JaneOrlov.com, and it's all free. Excellent. You
yes,
rock. You absolutely rock.
thank
So,
you.
are you attending any events this year? I mean, where can we find you? Where can we meet you?
Yes, I'm attending an event with it's called Nutrius event with Mark Hoverson, Jonathan Budd, and Matt Lloyd, and um, Dagan Smith. But I was planning to attend the Live the Dream, but I had another huge event coming instead. And then I'm speaking on stage with Todd Falcone and Michael Burnoff for my primary event. But I'm gonna be on Facebook available. Whoever wants to reach out to me, and I am gonna attend several more live events. I'm not
Excellent.
sure which ones yet,
You
but I
rock.
want to
Go ahead.
share. Yeah, the visualization is really important, and I wanted to quick share this little tip that what I used to do before is I created pictures of people who I wanted to work with, big leaders, and I snapped it into a little video with a very exciting music that motivates me. And I would put this video, 1 minute video, on my phone, and I would watch it every morning and night. And most of the people who I wanted to work with, I'm working with already. So it does work. You just have to train your mind, and you don't know how it will happen, but somehow it does. The universe works.
Absolutely. No, and anyone who's dialed into this call more than a few times, I'm the biggest proponent of that ever. Everyone knows that everything that I do today really truly happens because I started the pathway and started manifesting that into my life years ago. And so, no, I support you and I back you up and agree with you 100%. So I appreciate you sharing that. So, anyway, Jane, listen, you're an absolute sweetheart, and I hope that you'll come back soon. Can we get you to agree to do that?
Of course, I was
Excellent. Thank you.
honored.
Maybe you'll even do like a training webinar for our community or something. That'd be great. So
Okay.
listen, thank you for your time, obviously, Jane. And again, we'll post this complete call recording to our Facebook page after we hang up here at facebook.com/networkmarketingvt, or you can go to SoundCloud and download the mobile app. You can download the call, of course, and listen to a lot of additional content. We keep about 4 hours of content up there all the time, and that's at soundcloud.com/networkmarketingvt as well. So come back tomorrow. Again, bring yourself, bring your notepads and your pens, because Cesar Rodriguez is going to walk us through this being 10 times bolder. And you will always discover that being 10 times bolder gets 10 times the action and produces 10 times the energy and the drive and that momentum, and that always translates into results. And if whether it's relationships, career, material possessions, travel, you name it, it all works the same, folks. It's all the same. So if you want greater results in your life and business, including in your wallet, damn it, then come back tomorrow, because Cesar Rodriguez is one of the absolute best at training with his techniques and his style and prospecting and closing, but not only just getting you the results that you want. So I look forward to seeing everybody back here tomorrow at 11:35, and feel free to invite everyone that you choose. With that out of the way, folks. Oh, go ahead, Jane.
Yeah, I wanted to say very big thank you. I never did that and I forgot, but I want to say big thank you to Brandy Roberts, who we did the first product with, and I really appreciate Brandy. She helped me a lot with. We just rocked it, so I really appreciate. Just wanted to say thank you.
No, that's absolutely a good point. I'm glad you bring that up, and it kind of breaks the close. But Brandy Roberts has been a tremendous asset to this community with Network Marketing VT for months. And so I was just pleased as punch that you were working with Brandy Roberts. And I'm glad you brought her up to just kind of acknowledge her, because I think she's absolutely deserving and worthy of that. So, Brandy, if you're
Yes.
listening, Jason said he loves you dearly.
Hi, it's Jane Orlov. The morning of August 29th, and I just did a huge call with 1,000 people on Jason Spurlock's network marketing VT, and it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. I mean, I was shaking and nervous, but after the call, I'm getting a good response. So I just want to share with you that I've get like text messages, and then half here is people are saying I want to be hot online too, and I just want to share with you that I was really, nervous every time I do something. As I shared on the call, every time I do something big, I get very fearful and think it's gonna be much worse than it's gonna be. So I just want to share that it wasn't that bad, and people liked me, and whatever you think you have to do, just do it, and the sky will not fall on your lap, just the tip of the day. Thank you.